An elementary school.
An elementary school student. I planted a small tree and flowers in my school garden with my teacher and friends. Did you grow plants when you were young? Yes, I did. I grew sweet potatoes at my home because it was one of the vacation homeworks. So I always recorded what changed. Okay, what changed daily. Do you think more people should plant trees? Yes, I think it's more beneficial that people should plant trees to stop global warming. Lasting and worse. Okay, stop global warming. Yeah, I would just say to stop global warming. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Well, you could say stop global warming and reduce. Yeah.
Mm.
Right. Do you like to visit other people? For me personally, I don't like to visit my friends' home because it feels awkward. But to visit my relatives is fine because I got used to it. You're not the only one that says that. Some of my other students have obviously got a big hang up to going to other people's houses. It's quite normal, I think, in the West to go to somebody else's house, but
Yeah.
It seems like in Korea it's a little bit of something that you don't do very often. Okay. Right. Okay. Do you need to prepare anything before visitors arrive? Yes, of course. If someone visits my home, then usually I organize all the things in my home and also prepare some desserts and beverages. Okay, that's fine. What do you usually do when they visit? It depends on the person, but usually I spend time chatting and catch up with them and sometimes watch movies too. That's okay. What kind of people visit your home? Obviously, most people are my relatives, not friends, because I reckon that to visit friends' home is unusual in Korea. What do they usually do in your home? As I mentioned earlier, people who visit my home have conversations to catch up with each other, and sometimes we play board games together. Okay, those are fine. Mostly faultless. That's good. Right. Okay. Now I've just done this same question with another student.
Yeah.
And had a very difficult time going through this question because she'd picked as the leader. She'd picked the what's his name, the lead singer of BTS.
Ah. Yeah.
And I had a very difficult time trying to persuade her that wasn't really although he might be the lead singer, he's not really a leader.
Yes. I
And
yeah. Yeah.
and she was arguing with me, and she actually, in the end, she was trying to persuade me that actually he is a leader. And I said, okay, but and then in the end, she said that the group went to meet the UN, and while they were at the UN, they talked about one world or a united world or something like that. And so
Yeah.
I said, okay, if you can find the video clip where they talked about, or where you can describe the video clip where they talked about a united world, I said, then I will accept that he is a leader. I said, but otherwise, I don't really accept that he's a leader. So
I think the stuff that makes some hard to explain, I think.
yeah, well, because what I said to her is, if you want to pick somebody like a musician, and okay, I would say somebody like John Lennon, who was in the Beatles, or Bob
Yeah.
Dylan from America, or Sting.
Mhm.
I would accept that they are leaders because they were all interested in either politics or the environment, and they invested either their time or their money or some way in bringing a lot of attention towards those subjects. So I would say that they were definitely leaders, and they influence a huge number of young people to be interested in those topics. So I would accept that they are, but the lead singer of BTS, And I said, I was asking her lots of questions. Has he ever talked about this? Has he ever talked about that? And she said, no, no, no. I said, well, how is he a leader then? What's he leading? So, okay, so let's have a look at what you've got here. Okay, I'm going to talk about my team leader in my workplace. I'm a nurse and work in a hospital in an ICU. She's a unit manager in there, and I've known her for almost a year. The reason why I respect her so much is that she's very special and an extraordinary person. This is because in my field, is that?
Yeah.
My field, especially as a nurse, it's really hard to find decent people, particularly if they are a senior grade. They are normally bossy and selfish, for example. They tend to order something to juniors even though there is no responsibility on junior nurses because they want to work easily and get more rest. But she doesn't. She always cares about us firstly, and she's ready to give her hand for us. Okay, to give her hand for us. I would say to give us a hand. Even jobs aren't her tasks, and to hear someone's concern. So it seems she works with juniors. She's really smart, intelligent. She also has strong management skills, which are based on her knowledge and experiences. For example, if there is an emergency situation, then she jumps to conclusions so well and successfully, and she knows what to do. What to do, have to do. What to do, have to do. Knows what to do. She knows what to do. I don't understand that. She knows what to do. I get that. But in order?
Yeah. Sequentially?
Okay. Yeah. Accordingly, there is no one who hates her, so she looks always busy because many people find her and call her. In addition, some of my colleagues often think they often want to quit the job, but they change their mind to keep working because of her. She's my mentor now. Okay. Okay. I mean, I would accept that that you are describing a leader, a leader who you admire. It's obviously not BTS, is it? It's obviously not the lead singer. So, and she's obviously a very special person. So that's okay. Okay. So, so she's a unit manager.
Yeah. I see you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very impressive, and she helps everybody.
Yeah.
Very rare person, I think.
Yeah, really.
Okay, right. So let's move on to the part 3 questions. So why do we need leaders?
Because if there is no leader, then maybe people act different to each other. So and make more efficient work. To make more efficient work.
Okay, so how do leaders make us work more efficiently?
If there is a leader, then people follow their leader usually.
Yeah, okay, but okay, but how do the leaders? How do they make us work? Following the leader is the same as the leader giving us an instruction. How do the leaders make us work more efficiently? What is it that they actually do to make us work more efficiently?
Readers can encourage their team member to and if there is some problem, then readers could solve the problem.
Maybe. I would say that leaders, usually in order to be a leader, they need to have knowledge, some kind of knowledge and experience.
Yeah.
And that they can use that knowledge and experience to assess a task that needs to be done. They can break that task down into smaller parts.
Yeah.
And they can allocate those smaller parts to the people that they lead who are best suited to doing the task. So that people work, so that people who work in a team, you give the people who are best at a certain job, okay, you do that job there, you three people there better do this job, and you've got a lot of experience in this, so they also need to know the skills of their team members.
Yeah.
Okay, right. If you were a leader and your subordinates didn't respect you, what would you do?
Firstly, I just ask them directly about what's your problem, what problems you have, and maybe they give some opinions about me, so then I'd like to take my problems and try to ease those problems and make them more I just try to make them satisfaction about me.
I don't know. I think that's a little bit of a dangerous path to go down. It sounds to me like you're caving in to your subordinates in order to get them to like you.
Actually, I don't know the word.
Subordinates, it's the people who work for you. So if you're a leader, they are just the people the team members that work for you.
Yeah.
So how would you? It's always a bit difficult as a leader.
Yeah.
Because you need to have respect, or else people just don't do the things that you want them to do, or they do them deliberately badly in order to give you a bad reputation or something. Yes, I think you've got to try and find out why there is a problem.
Yeah.
I think sometimes if there's one particular subordinate who seems to be the root of the problem, it's not always a good idea to talk to them directly, because they might tell you a lie. They might, they might say, oh no, there's no problem at all, but then they carry on doing the same things, whatever, or showing the same lack of respect. So I think you need to speak to the team, to gather the opinions of most of the team and try and find out at the same time if there is anybody in the team, without naming names,
Yeah.
if there is anybody in the team who isn't satisfied, or who who has some kind of problem, which may or may not be you, but it might be that it's focused on you as a leader. So
Yeah.
you have to be politically quite clever when you're a leader. You can't just ask the one person who's a problem. You can't just say, okay, what's the problem? Because they'll probably lie. It's so you're playing. It's basically a game that you're playing. Of it might be a simple problem that you can solve. It might be one particular issue of something, some small thing, or something to you that was a small thing in the past that to them was actually something that was very meaningful. Maybe it was something you said that you didn't think was important, but to them it was very important. That's easy. You can apologize for that, and you can sort of try and move on from it. But it might be something more. Not all subordinates are good people. Some of them are a pain. And then then it becomes more difficult. I don't know what it's like in Korea, but in most Western countries, it's actually very difficult to sack people.
I think same. I think, and
Right.
and I think I've seen and got experience about those things. I think time is the problem.
Yeah. It's well, sometimes you can spend a lot of time trying to solve a problem, and it's a problem that can't be solved. If that person just doesn't fit in the team for whatever reason, then the faster you can move them somewhere else, the better. I had two people working for me when I was in New Zealand, and they were both young. They were both straight out of university. They were actually, both of them were very smart. But they were both incredibly lazy, and just didn't do what they were supposed to do. One of them didn't even try. One of them, he was an Indian guy. He just didn't want to be there. He really didn't want to be in the team. So in the end, I had a conversation. I said, well, look, if you don't want to be here, why are you here? What's the point in you being here? If you'd rather be somewhere else, then move somewhere else. You're no good to me if you don't want to be here. I only want to have people working who want to be here. And the other one was a female engineer, and again she was a prize-winning student, so she came very highly recommended from her university. But as soon as I gave her work to do, she would go online and start playing games, and it was just, and I used to catch her all the time. because I would walk around and I'd deliberately take a route where she couldn't see me coming, and I'd walk up behind her and I could see that she was playing games. So instead of doing the work that she was supposed to do, which she was quite capable of doing, she was always doing far less work than the other people in the team. Now the other people in the team were actually very experienced, and they just liked to get through lots and lots of work, which was assessing engineering plans. And she was always doing far less. Okay, she didn't have the experience, but she was very smart. And maybe within 2 or 3 months, she should have been working at the same speed as the rest of them. And I was always having to have conversations with her, taking her to one side and saying, you're not. And what she kept on doing was finding a problem in the engineering plan and then putting it to one side. And then she would just leave it there. Instead of trying to follow up and solve the problem, she just kept on putting things to one side all the time, until she had a huge pile of engineering plans that were being delayed. And so for the people who were submitting the plans, this was costing them lots of money, because there was no advance with it. So in the end, I got her moved to another department. I said it's time that she got experience somewhere else, but that took me a year. I had to get the agreement of my manager to say yes, okay, she can move on. And then they replaced her with the Indian guy who was just as lazy. So it was like, I really didn't enjoy having these young students or they weren't students anymore, but the recently graduated students, because they were just so lazy. Very difficult.
I like that people too.
So it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't so much a lack of respect, although in a way it was, because they weren't doing what they were supposed to do. It's just that they were lazy people, and very disappointing. And you know, for as I say, the other people in the team we were all the rest of us were quite mature. We're, you know, like in our 40s or 50s. One guy was in his 60s. And we just wanted to work. We just wanted to get, you know, do the work, finish the day, and go home. And so to have somebody who we all knew was just wasting time,
Yeah.
what the problem with that is, it makes other people dissatisfied as well, because if some people are working very, very hard and they know that the person sitting next to them is just wasting time, it becomes very disruptive to the other team members. It's not only themselves and their work, it becomes a problem for other people. It demotivates other people as well. So
Yeah, I had experiences like that too.
what with lazy nurses?
Lazy nurses and lazy students
Oh yeah.
in the university to make presentation,
Oh yes, don't get me started.
case study.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I always did alone. But it's, for me, I think do alone is more comfortable because I just don't care about them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in a university situation and it's just one presentation, you can just push them to one side and completely ignore them. That's not it's annoying, but it's not so much of a problem. You can just completely ignore them. But when you're working with them and it's day after day, month after month, then it becomes it really does become a problem, because you think, well, we're all working to and earning money or whatever it is for our team, and this person is just riding on our tails. They're not doing any work at all, so it becomes very demotivating for everybody else.
Yeah, so some nurses disappear for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they used to uh, stay in the restroom and didn't come back.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in the end, okay, so in a situation like that, whoever was the senior nurse, did she do something about it? What did she do about that?
Actually, in my workplace, I'm a senior nurse. Like, I said that my unit manager and me is second. So I just do all the things. I just ignore that.
Oh, you can't ignore them. You've got to take them on.
But there is no time to take them back. So yeah, I do all the things. And with, of course, with some nurses. So many people have complained to someone. But I usually say very directly, like, don't do that. But they don't change.
Okay, so I mean, over the short term, you can confront them, you can say something directly to them, but then in the longer term, you can't really allow that to carry on for months and months and years, because those people will always be lazy. So what would be that? What would you do? Would you then talk to, if you've already spoken to them directly? What would be your next step? Would it be to take it up with somebody more senior and say, this one or two nurses are always missing from the ward? Do you report them to somebody else?
I usually I usually endure the problem as much as I can. But in the end, I talk to my unit manager. Then unit manager said the nurse department, but no change because always we struggle to lack of nurses, so
Well,
they don't want to quit. They quit the hospital.
well.
So and nothing
But
changed.
but 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 surely they're in the end they're actually worse than having no nurse because they're drawing a salary, but they're not actually doing anything to help. It would be better to kick them out and replace them with somebody who's better. Try and find somebody who's better.
The um, maybe it takes 1 year because we contract 1 year paper.
Mm,
So they can't change their salary. So
really? Wow.
yeah, they have to keep the salary for 1 year because the contract.
Okay, but a contract is a two-way thing. Of course, the hospital has to pay them for 1 year, but they also have duties which they should perform. So if they don't do those duties, then they are in breach of contract and they have broken the contract.
Yeah, so if they broke the contract, then they have to pay them for 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, this is uh, a law
Mm,
for laborers in Korea. So it's they think it's same because the pay is always they have to pay anyways.
mm.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like they need some very tough leaders, some very tough managers who crack the whip and make people jump.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, what do you think are the qualities of a good leader?
There are things many things that uh, readers have to have. Firstly, I think the most important thing is management skill. Mm, and I, uh, as I mentioned in part two, uh, I think to have experience and knowledge as much as they can is really can be can make leaders who have good quality.
Okay. If I scroll back to your part two answer and look quickly through there. Okay. She's a special and extraordinary person. Uh, so she listens to her juniors or her subordinates' concerns. She cares about the people that work for her, and she listens to their concerns.
Yeah.
So I would say that's generally something that's good good in a leader. They should listen to the people around that work for them. I think the worst leaders are the ones who never listen to the people that work for them, because
Yeah.
the reason you hire people should be because they've got certain skills,
Mm.
and one person can't do everything. So you get people who are strong in some subjects, somebody who's strong in other subjects, but then if they're strong in those subjects, if they've qualified or specialized in a certain area, then you should definitely listen to what those people have to say. But a lot of leaders don't.
Yeah.
I worked. My dog's barking. I'd probably told you before about the Korean guy that I worked with before. He wanted to start a school here, a language school here in Davao.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but he never listened to anything I said. We were good friends. In fact, I was chatting with him this morning on Facebook, so we're still good friends now. but
Yeah.
I would never work with him again because he never listens to what I've got to say.
Yeah.
And the reason he wanted me was because I was a native English speaker and because I was already teaching and I'd been teaching him. So you would think that what I have to say about teaching should be important to him. But he kept on, shush. See, now they're coming. When I tell them to be quiet, they come running in to see me and to sort of apologise. Be quiet. Stop being so noisy. Right. Okay. So yeah, definitely they should listen to the expertise amongst their staff. What else did you put in there? Okay, you said that she helps. She joins in and she helps,
Mm.
even when it's not her job. And I think that again, that's a very important thing because then you can assess how good people are at their jobs. But you can also show them maybe some shortcuts. You can show them, okay, don't do it like this, do it like this. You can pass on your experience. So I think at the same time, being a hands-on boss, you don't want to try and take over every single job. You can assist people, you can show them, but then you need to let people get on with their jobs. I'd say those are good leadership
Yeah.
qualities.
But some people feel very um, uh, uh, uncomfortable because the boss works with me
Yeah.
right next to me. So
But I think that's something they may feel uncomfortable in the beginning, but if the boss is a genuine person, they'll
yeah,
very quickly get over it. They'll realize that the boss is there helping them and passing on advice. I think there are bosses who are what's called micromanagers, and they get involved at the wrong time and they tell you, oh no, don't do it like that, oh no, don't do that, or don't do it like this, don't do it like that, do it that's just painful because they're not letting you develop your own techniques and your own experience.
yeah,
But I think someone who does help and who it's a difficult line to draw between someone who's helping and someone who's becoming a micromanager. I think micromanagers are terrible. So let's keep moving on. So okay, you've answered that one. So do you think it's important for parents to encourage the development of leadership abilities in their children?
um, yes, I think it's important because uh, te- teaching leadership skills to children is have uh, have opportunity in the future for their job. Mm, for example, if I think people will be reader anyways in their play uh, in their fields, so uh, the if children used to the about leadership, then it's more it's easier to manage their team member.
Okay, okay. What's that got to do? What's that got to do with parents, though?
Uh,
Okay, all right. So I think you've got to be careful. This is actually quite a complex question. Um, Developing the leadership abilities in their children. I think the first question that you've got to ask is whether leadership is a natural thing that some people are born with, or whether it's something they can learn.
yeah,
And I think to some extent you can learn it, but I think most leaders are born leaders. It's something that it's part of their personality that they were always going to be some kind of leader. But there are many different kinds of leadership.
yeah,
It's possible to learn leadership. How parents can teach that, I don't really know. How parent encouraging it or teaching it, I think it's quite difficult for parents to do it.
yeah,
Uh, I'm not sure how that. I suppose you could, if you've got a large family and you can see that one of your children is a natural leader amongst the kids, whereas one of them is always just following. I suppose you could focus on the one who's always following and try to help them to develop some kind of leadership qualities.
Yeah.
But I think most parents don't have time for that, to be honest. As a parent, how a parent is supposed to spend time developing leadership abilities in their children. All you can teach your children to do is to be good human beings, that they are sharing and caring and that they listen to other people. Now, if those are leadership qualities, then I think that's as much as you can do, really.
Yeah.
So I think it's so is it important for parents? I don't think it's necessarily important for parents, other than the fact that the qualities that you can develop in your children can be used for good leadership. This is a question that's not, it's not an obvious question that you can answer. I don't think. I think this is a kind of question that you can actually pull apart and say, well, I don't really think it's possible, because good leaders are born rather than being taught.
Yeah.
Right. In what ways? Okay, here we go. In what ways can parents encourage their children to develop leadership abilities? Well, I sort of answered that just now, so you can try it now. So, in what ways can parents encourage their children to develop leadership abilities?
They can. Parents can encourage their children to teach. Encourage their children to develop their leadership skills. They can teach their children about caring and helping someone. Also, listening to someone. It could be encourage their children, but I think these days parents don't have enough time to teach their children.
Okay, I think that's fine. I think that's a good answer. Yeah, I think it's close to reality. I certainly can't. Unfortunately, I can't think of any way that I taught my children's leadership abilities. I can't think of anything that I've done to teach leadership ability to my children, which I'm now feeling very guilty about the fact that I haven't developed leaders.
I think born with leadership is the true. I think it's related to personality.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to manage or control or teach them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I would say that the way it's probably most obvious is when children play, when if they play any kind of games. I mean, that's really why we have team games, why we play team games at school, because that's where leadership comes out naturally amongst kids. Even if someone's academically not very clever, if you put them in say a football team, and they understand the way a football team plays, and they start organizing the players around them, or encouraging the players who are perhaps getting tired or just don't want to play or something like that, but they encourage people. That's leadership. So that emerges very naturally on a football pitch. So how you can teach that is difficult, really.
Yeah, but I suddenly pop up the BTS on my head, the reader. yeah, the leader can increase their member to BTS and BTS. So
Oh, right. Okay.
yes, so yeah, she's okay. You know.
So, 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 okay. So, in what way? How does the lead singer develop? Well, I suppose they could in
Yeah,
the children around them.
yeah, like football team
Yeah,
because they team too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but what about people outside the group though? How do they influence the apart from singing and dancing? How can they influence their followers?
Well, if I have to make some example, then they can increase their big, huge amount of their fan to donate something to poor people or poor.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
But I agree totally. They could, but have they done anything like that? Are they famous for doing anything like that?
I don't know because I have no idea about BTS.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know anything
Right.
now.
Okay.
So, if you found this IELTS class useful, informative, or entertaining, please give it a like, subscribe, and share with other people who you think might benefit from these live IELTS class videos using actual examination topics. Most of the students participating in these classes are now living their dream in English-speaking countries around the world. If you want classes with me, you can contact me on X, LinkedIn, MS Teams, or Viber. Details are given in the description below or on the About page for this channel. Thank you.